What's up, guys? Thought I would do a market recap video only talking about the market this weekend going into the week to come. I do believe we're going to have a great opportunity for a bounce play, but I do believe the bounce play, if we lose our zone, is going to create a really nice short opportunity for those that are looking to catch the big short run. So try and really focus on, are you a short-term trader right now? You're going to just scalp both directions, or are you looking for a big trade? If you're looking for a big trade, you likely want to make some money on this bounce. It will bounce. Make some money on this bounce, and that way you have that cash on hand. You feel good and you're comfortable to lose that cash while you're trying to catch what could be a pretty drastic drop. And that's the next, based off of what we're looking right now, it does look like that's the next great opportunity in the market, a big drop, right? So you want to participate in that and not only go cash for that event. I do see it. I do see that opportunity. I'm going to get into the details on how to trigger it, but I just want to go over the history of SPX really quickly for us to really understand potentially what could we be looking for on a drop in the market if we do go down and break our recent June lows. So I just went over SPX, and obviously, we can't see too much data in here from the Great Depression. All you see is dots, right? So I'm going to look at where we started our big bull run in here, okay? So we had our previous all-time high, we stalled, and then we went on a huge bull run. You can see a massive bull run. These are weekly candles. This basically went from 53 all the way to 56 and double top to 57. So when we double top to 57, you could see it's actually a triple top, right? You don't need to go two to penny. You can see there was 1, 2, 3 big pivots from that zone. And this is where our support was built up once our drop had bottomed out, right? So this is, we're going to be looking at the history of this. So you can see here in the market, we also had a double top in the market in the 60s, and we're going to go look at the history of that, and then we're going to go look and see what's this zone back tested in here. Okay, so we always want to identify these major demand zones and these major supply zones, support and resistance zones. That's really what we want to look for and see, did they get hit when they came for the back test? In this case, you could see this support that was built up in here is what held. Okay, you can see that's what held in here. We had a double bottom and then the market ran. So we never came back and back tested this level down in here, right? It's in the 50s. Trading's a lot different right now, but you can see still historically, these charts are still pretty much acting the same. Not a full back test, but we had a triple bottom in here. We had a double top that was back tested in here. So let's continue to drag this out. Let's just drag this out as we go along. By the way, I'm doing this freehand. I haven't prepared this. So I'm looking at the history here in real time with you. I just had this idea, but I'm walking through it. You can see the market goes on a huge all-time high run. So we get a new all-time high, fake out. It actually back tests this zone. It holds the support. So previous area acting as a resistance comes in and acts as a support. We run. We go on a huge bull run. And you can see in here, now I'm going to drag this up into this zone. This is where we back tested it again. Very strong support moving forward. So we want to watch the zone as it continues moving forward. Oh, you can see, look at that, right? Came back and back tested that zone. In here in the market, no, we broke this zone. There was a lot of trading in this range. You could see a lot of trading in this range. You could see some support trying to build up in this range in here. So let's drag that out. Oh, there you go. There's that back test of that support. Previous all-time high, fake out, support, run, back test, hold, dump. It dumps when it loses this. This is in the 70s. I don't know what caused this in the 70s. Somebody will put it in the comments if they remember. And here we go, right? Boom, we bounced, we back tested off of this range. So this range ended up acting as a huge support. We could see a new resistance that was established in here, right? Because we could see that resistance right in here. It's coming off of this zone. And what happened? Resistance, support, breakout, comes back, tries to hold. Look, and then it dumps, right? It dumps hard. And look at the dump. Look how strong this dump is. It loses everything. It loses this support in here, and it overthrows this support down in here, and that was in the 70s. Did this backtest anything? Look at that. No doubt about it, right? Look at this. Came back and backtested that previous zone we had on the chart. So let's drag this out. This is a much bigger zone now because you can see these big attempts to go higher. Okay, yeah, look in here, right? That's the backtest. Let's drag this out in here because we know that was the zone. Here we go. There's your backtest. There's your backtest. Again, if I draw that properly, it's probably a wick right in here that it gets into and it holds. Now, look at this. We're going a huge run. This is the 80s. We're about to run into the 87 crash, Black Monday. Was it Black Monday? Black Thursday? Black Monday? I can't remember now. What was it called? So now, okay, so we go on a really nice run in here. There's a back test in here. You see this back test in here? Let's look at that right there. There's our back test in that range. Now we've gone on a new all-time high run, and we have a support that gets established in here. This is the bottom of the Black Monday crash, right? And we came back, we double bottomed, and we established a resistance in here. This resistance looked like it wanted to act as a support. And this is why I'm always, when I'm doing my videos and I'm doing my charts, I'm drawing these zones, right? Because we need to really understand how the market reacts to these zones. And when we anticipate our back tests, are they going to hold? So we got the bottom of the, I think it was Black Monday. You know, I'm thinking Black Friday specials, and now it might have been Black Thursday. I don't know. Black Monday is what I'm going to go with for this video. Resistance at all-time high, axis support, we go, we run. This area acts as a little bit of resistance, not a drastic move in here yet, so we want to really see how this is going to play out. Holds a support, and then it starts to run. We go on a really nice all-time high run. Look at this. This is just weeklies continuously making new highs. Now in here, there is a resistance that's built up because we stall in here. We stall, and then we run, we come back, and we back test. So that's the next zone I want to be watching as the market comes back and back tests it and runs. So now we have a new zone in here. That's what I'm going to want to watch, because you can see we had a number of reactions in here. 1, 2, 3. Then we go on a big run. Okay, this is what? This is the run into the dot-com bubble. Okay, big run in here. No real loss. There's a little bit of a support that's built up in here, right? We look at this zone in here. There's a little bit of support that's built up in here. Let's keep it going. Oh yeah, we're really running in here. Dot-com bubble. This is the real big run. So we know there's going to be a big crash. Where's it going to come back? Whew, this was one hell of a run. This is a good time to make money. Okay, so now we know there was a big stall up in this zone. Okay, so we have a big stall up in this zone. And now this is dumping. We have a support down in here. Does this support hold at all? It does. See this previous resistance support, bounces off of it, loses it. Okay, it loses it, acts as a resistance, Now this zone in here held. Now what was this? You know, that's a very small zone. You know, at the time I would have been like, okay, actually look at that candlestick right there. Okay, let's look at this candlestick right in here, right? This candlestick right in here. That's the one we want to focus on. That's something similar we would do right now, because we would be looking to see, you know, where's the market going to hold when it starts dumping. Did it hold in there? That was it. That was it. Triple bottom. Okay, massive support moving forward. Okay, this resistance in here. Let's just drag this out. Continuation moving forward. And now we're looking up at our all-time high zone that is going to be tested eventually, because we know the market did make new all-time highs. Look what happens. We get up into there, we stall, and boom, we dropped all the way back down. What was this? This was Great Financial Crisis, 2008. We overshoot our support. Wait a second. What was this down in here? Was this anything previously? No, we just overshoot. So it overshoots. I think in here, that's going to look like some bullish divergence. Bingo. Right down to here, bullish divergence. That's the signal of markets getting too extended, too exhausted. It, you know, it might break it, but there's going to be a significant bounce that comes from it later on. Let's drag this out in here. Okay, yeah, I'm going to fix that up right in there. You can see that's where the backtest is in this range. We've got our new all-time high. We've got our overshoot of support down in here. Is that even going to get tested again? We built up a support in here, so let's work on this support right now. We built that up. What happened when we came back up to this all-time high zone? Little bit of a stall. Market was ready to go. It goes. Let's drag this out. Let's drag this out a little bit further. Let's drag this one out a little bit further. Let's see what happens in here. We're running now. We're getting into the Trump era. We built a support in here, so let's look at this one, because we basically stalled in this range for a very long period of time. It came and acted as support. Okay, so now what's going to happen, right? We're going to come down. We dump down. I think this is 2018 Fed rate policy mistake. That's COVID crash. Where does COVID crash go to? It comes down into the support right in here. Right, previous area of resistance comes in and acts as support. and then we go on a mega run, right? But now what we want to watch, basically the purpose of all this thing, why did I just go through this, is because we're looking if the market's about to dump down, as we've seen some significant dump downs over time, right? Some significant bear markets. What was this? This was Great Financial Crisis. This was .com, right? We could see the drawdowns, right? Big drawdowns, especially after a huge run. And that's what we've had right now. We've had a huge run. And the market looks like this rollover in here. These 3 weekly candles are telling us, these are basically 3 black crows. They're telling us to anticipate a pullback into another zone that needs to be established. Well, if we look at this in here, we're actually looking for the back test of our previous support, our previous resistance to come in and act as support, right? This one came down and acted as our previous area. Okay, so that was a bigger crash. So what we're looking for now is we came back down and we back tested our previous area of resistance, acted as support. So we got to look for the market to tell us and do the exact same thing that it always does. Comes back, it back tests and builds up a support. Well, if I was drawing a new zone, not knowing the right side of the chart right now, because all I did in here was, you kind of know what the right side of the chart was always going up, right? But I was doing this live. I was freehanding this, not pre-set up. So just looking at where the zones are going to come back and back test. So if I was drawing a zone right now, right? If I was drawing a zone, we got to draw this zone in here too. We got to be aware of this zone in here, right? We got to be aware. This was big, so we overshot this to the upside. We're overshooting it to the upside. So this is another zone we're going to have to keep our eyes on, moving forward in here. So I'm looking at 2 zones right now in the market for the potential. Look at that bad boy right there, right? Previous all-time high, chop, chop, boom, big explosion. And the market is flirting with coming back down into this range. Now, this is our June low. Our June low, there's some reaction in here, but this is not going to be strong enough because we didn't trade in that range for a very long period of time, right? You can see this. Look at the comparison, right? The time in here, right? The time we spent in here in these zones, right? That's what you want to look at the time that was spent in there. So this one coming back to it again, we're going to favor that it's going to break. We're going to just favor that the zone's going to break, and we're going to have to look down into here. Where does this bring us to? This brings us to the 3,300 candlestick right in here. So what we're looking for now, and I'm going to go into the finer details in here, is how to catch the trade that potentially gets down to here and maybe, even more drastic. Let's not call for a 50% crash at the moment, right? Is it 50? No, 26. We're at 4K and that's at 3K. Okay, so 30%. We could be realistically looking back down into this zone to establish a new big zone in the market. Just went through the history just to show you how the markets come back and retest those levels. We've gone on a mega run. This is a mega run. So in this mega run, we know we could do a healthy pullback to come down into this range, and it would be completely fine. Why would it be completely fine in the overall bigger picture? Well, one, it's going to give us a generational wealth opportunity, so we need to be very excited about that. Always embrace opportunity when people are freaking out, losing money. If you're cash, you're liquid, and you have the foresight of the potential these scenarios might happen, then you wait big time. Short-term trading, yes, you want to make a living, you want to pay the bills this week, you want to pay the bills this month, right? You want to go on vacation, whatever. But the big money, the money that changes your life, is made in these big scenarios. One, you could catch it to the downside, and 2, the generational wealth opportunity that comes out of there. We know if you trade above the golden pocket after a huge run, if you've been following my videos for a long time, huge run follows up with a huge drop. Huge drop follows up with a huge bounce. Huge bounce follows up with maybe a double bottom, maybe a higher low, chop around, or the continuation of the huge drop that ends the correction. So coming down into here in a bigger chart perspective, you might be frustrated because you might be thinking, well, I've lost some money in 2022, haven't been successful, and I want to make money back. Well, that's okay, because you got to remember, some years it's just not your year. Some years it's a learning year. Some years it's building yourself up in preparing yourself for the next great opportunity. And all the experience that you learn throughout that time sets you up for that experience. Now, for me, I've never caught a huge bear trade. Not really, never. So this is the one I'm looking at, that this is the potential for the big one. And what I'm looking for in the short term is a bounce. I'm looking for a short term in the bounce because the weekly's coming straight down. And because the weekly is coming straight down, it tells me that there's strength in the bear move, and we're going to have to see a relief bounce. And on the relief bounce, if everything sets up correctly, we should be moving down into this range, just looking at it from a chart perspective. Now, there is the possibility, if you've been following along my videos, is that there is the possibility that we do not make a new low, that we do hold this zone and we go for breakout. Well, we have to hold right now. This is basically it. We need to hold this range. This range is our short-term back test in here. And if we could hold this range coming off of the low, the June low, to our top, right? 36, 36, coming to our high. If we could hold this range, it will be completely fine because we would be holding, this is SPX, usually I do this on EFs. We would be holding our GP zone. And holding our GP zone is fine. It means choppiness. It means we're not going to go straight back up. But it means that the complete upward trend is not over yet, because we've been unable to break through the golden pocket platinum zone, that the bulls could still hold this range, hold this backtest, and see a run. This is where we're going to run into the risk. The risk that's going to happen in here is because ultimately, I'm going to go back to ES for now. Ultimately, we should be looking for a bounce, okay? We should be looking for a bounce, and all my drawings are gone. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it is what it is. You can see in here, we're looking for this backtest to hold. Now we've had a double bottom. This looked like this was going to actually break bull the other day, and this was a reason for me playing bull, right? Playing bull, and I actually took it off on this candlestick. I didn't hold it into, what did they have on Friday? It was job numbers on Friday. And then we got shot down, right? We got shot down right at our first area of resistance. So we got our first area of resistance in here. So we could see that the bears is still pretty strong in here, our second area of resistance. And then we could be thinking about a GP move. It's going to be very hard right now for the bulls to break bull to a significant extent, because in the manner in which we came down, I like the market better if it held 4K. Okay, if it held 4K and it was healthy, I would have liked it better. Holding this zone creates a little bit of confusion, but I am leaning that we are going to drop bear now after a significant bounce. And significant bounce might be 406, right? Somebody might say, well, that's not very significant. Well, you know, individual names can give you some decent return. But in the manner in which we came down, which is very impulsive, is telling me it looks like we're starting a new cycle, right? This would be our 1 in here. We're looking for our 2, and then the 3 is going to be pretty big. And the 3 being pretty big could get us down into those zones I was just pointing out. The strength of these engulfing candlesticks is visible on the volume, okay? The bear volume in here supersedes all of this run up that we had in the bull volume. See that? All of that is superseding it. It's greater. And that's when you look at engulfing candlesticks and you look at impulsive moves, if you see the volume, that's where you could see, well, there's a lot of money exiting. And if there's a lot of money exiting, it's going to take a lot for it to come back in, and we're going to need something, a drastic change in the market environment to see that money come back in. Now, to see that money come back in and to break these candlesticks over and over with all this exit volume is going to be difficult without huge volume, right? So my concern here is that, my concern is not a concern because it's going to create opportunity, is that we will drop into those zones I just showed you at the beginning of the video. The way this move is coming in here, it looks like we may have just completed the end of our first bounce. So we're going to go look at this. This is our 1, 2, 3, and that was our first bounce that we were looking for the other day, which I thought it would have been a little bit better, but we got shot down. That's our 4. And we're either going to complete our 5 with a new leg down, and we could be looking down into here, which will bring us into the 383 zone pivot, or we're going to double bottom in here, and that's going to complete it, and we'll actually go for a little bit of a correction up in here. Just like the move down, you weren't quite sure if it was actually like, is this the start of a new bull market? We're going to go up to new highs. You can get a difference of opinion. But then when you get more information, then you see the way the candles are printing and the volume, then you can start to say, well, that's not looking good. Obviously, it's not looking good when you, like, we knew this. I was pointing out this head and shoulders before the head even formed, that we were going to correct. But how we corrected, the manner in which we corrected, was important to tell us how healthy this consolidation is going to be for a larger run up. Well, it's not healthy. We know it's not healthy because it's impulsive and it's huge volume. So the leg up in here, which I think we'll see early this week, whether it's tomorrow or Wednesday, we will see a leg up, is going to be, if you're naturally bull like myself, you're going to want to catch that move. And then while it's looking good, you're going to be thinking, well, maybe I should just hold this, and you're not going to be thinking bear. I want you to do me a favor and think about the bear, right? Think about the bear opportunity once you start to see the signs of it stalling. 4:30, we saw the signs of it stalling. It was stalling. Then it started to get impulsive a little bit later. In here, I thought it was, then it went a little bit higher. So what I want to be looking for is if this thing comes down and makes a new low, it's not going to matter to me because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be complete, and there's still going to be the move up. The move up is going to be what could be your great short opportunity. Maybe we get to 409, 408. Maybe we can't break this 406 zone, but I do believe we're going to see a revisit of those zones. And that's going to be my focus right now, okay? If we do make a new low, we look for an inverse head shoulders. My focus right now is going to be to catch the bounce, make some capital in that bounce, and I'm willing to risk that capital's gains to try and catch the big leg down, which could be a great wealth creation opportunity, because if you could hold and catch the big leg down, then you have all that extra cash in your pocket and you're feeling good to start allocating into a nice generational wealth opportunity. Hopefully we will all catch that together. Peace out, everybody.